Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is for the moon in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. And this means that as a fire sign, Sagittarius is enthusiastic about life. It, treats life as a grand drama and that we are all players in that drama. And there's a creative element to all fire signs. So when someone has a mutable modality, they are very flexible. And this is the moon position. So a person like this is not likely to stay mired in a negative emotion for too long. And actually, Sagittarians are known for being very optimistic. This kind of person can really lift the mood in any room. And they would make a great life coach because they have this tendency to inspire others. And so even if someone's sun is in Capricorn, having the moon in Sagittarius can really make them less serious, make them less concerned about the future and living for the moment, because this particular placement is someone who likes to have a good time. The symbol of Sagittarius is half man, half horse. And the horse represents the wild qualities, the animalistic qualities that you could associate with maybe the lore representation of Sagittarius, although I wouldn't really characterize it that way. I would just say the part that is less tamed and more craving freedom. If you think of a horse, just a wild horse running and doesn't have any kind of boundaries, isn't penned up or anything like that. And then you have that the man part of the Sag symbol. The Centaur is the symbol, and they can be very studious. A Sagittarian can have that quality of a scholar because it rules the ninth house of the higher mind. So it's not that Sagittarians are all party animals, but there is that part. There's actually a part of them that is very much interested in knowledge for the sake of knowledge and bettering themselves too. That philosophical nature. Sagittarius sage, the spiritual teacher. So with the moon position, this can lead to somebody who has a very strong connection to religious studies and the spiritual in general, and yet they may be down for a good time partying too. They may have that part to them that is just fun-loving. And you think of jovial, is the Roman god that rules Sagittarius, and that term jovial means somebody who is fun-loving, cheerful. And this is how I would characterize the emotional state of moon in Sagittarius most of the time. Of course, everyone is human and they have their down moments, but these people have their up moments a lot more than other moon signs. And so this, as I said, if your sun is in a sign that tends towards being serious, like maybe Capricorn or even Cancer, things like that, this will kind of make the person much more cheerful on a regular basis. And the thing that I would say a moon in Sagittarius person has to watch out for is a tendency to be irresponsible. And I say this, I always have to, I say this with hesitancy because I have a sun in Sagittarius, and I would say the same thing for the sun as well, because Sagittarians love freedom, and anything that a sun or moon in Sagittarius perceives as threatening that freedom. And it could be as simple as a bill coming in the mail that they have to pay out and not have as much money as they want to have. There's a tendency to try to escape from responsibility. And again, the reason for this is wanting to have freedom and not wanting to have obligations, okay? Freedom from obligations. And obviously life doesn't work that way. So I would say that with all moon fire signs, so the other fire signs are Aries and Leo, that there can sometimes be a perception by others of this person being childish. And I think that's very unfortunate, because there is childish and childlike. And childlike is when somebody is spontaneous. They don't have this facade where they try to filter out their more negative qualities so that other people don't see that they have those qualities, or their vulnerabilities is probably a better way of putting it, so they can appear like all powerful. And so a lot of adults tend to have that to one degree or another, where they want to seem dignified. They want to seem grown up, and they think that this means that you have to be very serious. You can't laugh too much or smile. And you have to have this image. And somebody with a moon in a fire sign may be very spontaneous in expressing themselves, and they come across as seeming very childish because of that spontaneity, where actually the other people have lost their sense of their inner child. They've lost touch with it. And that, the inner child is also all about creativity. So people who, when you think about children, usually they're drawing or they're making something, they're being creative. That's like a natural impulse of human beings. And and some people lose that along the way. But those who have a playful spirit can sometimes get accused of things that are not very nice, of being, as I said, childish. And if they have spontaneous emotions, like expressing displeasure, they can also be seen in a negative light. The perfect example is Donald Trump, who has the moon in Sagittarius. He also has Mars, and he has a Leo, Mars, and ascendant in Leo. And these are fiery energies, even though his sun is in Gemini, an air sign. Now, whether you agree with his way of thinking or not is not important. The important thing is looking at his emotional responses, which tend to be very blunt and immediate. And he gets accused of similar things, of being childish, for instance, an immaturity. And so this is the kind of thing that people with a moon in a fire sign have to deal with, or even a sun in a fire sign, that people perceive them in a way that it can even be to the point where they are looked upon as less than. And these people have so much creative energy and so many talents that it's very unfortunate that they get misunderstood in this way. And the other thing that I think is a very important point is that with Moon and Sagittarius, there's an unvarnished honesty that they bring to a situation from an emotional point of view. Let's face it, not everyone is honest about how they're feeling in the moment. For instance, I just did a video on Moon in Scorpio, and that sign in general tends to withhold. They're withholding because they feel that if they just are an open book, like Moon in Sagittarius, they're going to be weakened in some way. And this can become, for a Moon in Scorpio person, a vicious circle. Vicious cycle is another way of putting it, because they withhold, and then the other person doesn't really know who they are and cannot develop that strong bond. With the Moon in Sagittarius individual, you will always know where you stand, and that is an actual benefit to a relationship. Because isn't it kind of, I was going to say, isn't it kind of creepy to go through life and be dealing with somebody and you never really know what they're thinking about you completely? And that, I think sometimes when relationships experience a breakup and one person feels blindsided, it is because the other person never really divulged their true feelings to that person. Ultimately, you could call it a power play on one person's part. And the Moon in Sagittarius is like a big old puppy dog who is just friendly, and they want other people to feel happy, and they're very warm. There's no ulterior motives with them. They may not, I don't know how good their chess game would be compared to a Moon in Scorpio person, but they can really uplift the spirits of others. There just has to be a way for them to tone down their restless nature, because, again, they're always looking to the next horizon. Think of the Three of Wands in the Tarot. And emotionally, this can make them non-committal when it comes to a very close relationship, like a significant other, because they are emotionally afraid of any kind of claustrophobic relationship where they don't have freedom to be that wild horse from time to time. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. My website is rainandmoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.